Hey guys, it's Tony with Backwoods Biker Magazine and Wood Tramp Outdoors. Got another battle box for you, mission number 88, so hang tight. You're going to enjoy this one. Alright guys, welcome back. A lot of new things are happening here at Backwoods Biker Magazine and Wood Tramp Outdoors. A lot of things are going on. We're in our new studio, almost all the way, but you know, enough to be able to utilize the video portion of the studio, that's for sure. And man, I got a lot of things I want to tell you, but I just don't have time doing the battle box. But keep your eye out on, because we got some great stuff going on. Matter of fact, I do want to tell you this. A bunch of you have requested off of BattlBox, the Facebook members only page. You've requested my suggestions for survival schools, and instead of just giving those suggestions, we're putting together a full spread article on 5 different schools that we feel like we would be comfortable in suggesting them to you, because there's some that I wouldn't suggest you, but these 5 you'll see why. Right, so that's going to be coming out here very, very shortly. We're in the process of putting that together right now. So let's talk about the battle box. That's why we're here right now, mission number 88. And I got to tell you, this has got some great gear in it. It really does. I mean, I say that a lot, but yeah, it's because I believe in what they got going on here, and they truly have turned the page in here. So kudos again to Mr. John. All right, so with all that being said, let's get down to the brass tacks and talk to you about the different tiers, because there's those of you that have never watched our channel, have never read the magazine, so you don't know anything about BattlBox. So BattlBox comes in a 4-tier system. They have the basic box that you get in for at $29.99. You have got the advanced box, which is $59.99. The Pro box is $109.99, and the Pro Plus is $159.99. One builds upon the other. So an example is, if you go from your basic to the advanced box and pay for that, the $59.99, you'll get everything in that box and also the basic box, and so on and so forth. So your best bang for your buck is the $159.99, because you usually at least double, if not more, your investment. You pay $159 and you're usually right at around $300, sometimes over, for the amount of gear that's in there. So with that being said, let me get right into this month, June, mission number 88, and the first item in here comes from Insight Editions from Field and Stream, and this is the Total Knife Manual. Now you know how I feel about putting books in your library. It is imperative, right? But this particular book right here is such that I would highly recommend, if you are not yet a BattlBox guy or girl, be a good time to jump in, because it costs you $29.99 to become a basic member, and the retail price on this book is $29.99. So you got 2 other items I'm going to show you, but I have went through this entire book because I've read some knives on books on knives that ended up in the fire because they weren't any good. But this is a concise book. It says 141 essential skills and techniques. Talks to you about knife designs, knife use, axes and hatches, and they've got some pretty good authors that have contributed to this also. But I was digging it. Every page that I read, I thought, hey man, this is going to be great. Even machetes and scissors and saws, just all kinds of cutting stuff, man. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but look at all these knives, man. I mean, it's a great book, and one that I will make sure gets added to our library here. Again, that's $29.99, and that's what you got in for. So what's the next one? Well, the next item comes from My Medic, and My Medic has been a contributor now gee, for several months. We've been seeing a lot of MyMedic stuff, and you know, for the most part, we've really appreciated it and was glad they were in the box. But this particular item is a super bivy, what they call a super bivy, and I don't know about you, but a lot of the bivvies that we've ever encountered, you go to get in them, they rip because they're too light. They're definitely not reusable. This one is being advertised that it is reusable, and I can see that it is because it is very, very heavy duty. And the first thing that you notice about this, finally somebody's listening in the world, the outdoor world, about don't give us 10 pounds of potatoes inside of a 5-pound sack. And that's the way a lot of people do. You know, it's like they're really skimping on the bags that they put their gear in, and then we suffer from it. Well, this one is double the size, which tells me that you'll be able to put this back in the bag. And the only thing they didn't tell me is they didn't tell me how many mils this is, but we were trying to guess here, and we are believing that it's probably at least 4 times as thick as your normal space blanket, maybe even more. And it seems like that this coating, you know, does something to reinforce it. But it's 84 by 36 inches, so a really big guy can get in this. I'm 5'9" and I weigh 200 pounds, and I would fit in this comfortably and still have room to either roll up the opened end, or if I needed to, I could cut off little strips from that end and still fit me to be able to use as a breadcrumb trail or a signaling device or something like that. There's a lot of things that you can do with these, but you know, I think that this is probably one of the better ones that we've ever seen, and we see a lot of them. You know, a lot of people are doing these now because they're, you know, they're cheap to make, and that's honest. You know, you can put one on your shelf for hardly anything. Get your logo put on there. They're all getting made in the same factory almost in China. But anyway, this one is not being made in China. This is 100% made right here in the good old USA. But I think it's a great ad. You know, they give it a price of $24.95. We'll call it $25. So now we're sitting at $30 for the book, $25 here. That's $55, and you invested $29.99. It's a great ad. Next item up will stoke you also. This comes from Gear Aid. And I said we were at $55. This is the Gear Aid Extra Heavy Duty 1100 paracord. And when they say it's heavy duty, it is heavy duty. It's 5.5 millimeters round, which is about 2.5 times the size of regular military spec paracord. This has 16 strands in it versus the 7 strands in 550 paracord. So, I mean, it's obvious it's going to be very, very rugged. And, you know, I've been asked, well, what would you use this for? Because we have become so in tune as an outdoor community now for the past several years of using paracord for everything. So people are bombarding us. Well, what would you use this for? You know, I use 550 paracord. Well, you can use it for wherever you want. Can you use it for a ridgeline? Yes, but I think it's a waste of a good resource. And what I mean by that is that this particular hank here is 50 feet. And to me, the weight load on this allows you to make more choices. You have more options on how to use a cordage like this. For me, I could see stringing up your big game with this that you take down, even up, you know, to a bear. You could yank it up and haul it up with this particular paracord right here. It's got a nice carabiner on it, safety carabiner. It's not a climbing carabiner, but it's a safety carabiner. I like this, and for the $14.95, I think that is a great price for that. So we're at $55. We're going to call this $15. So that's $70 in gear that you got for $29.99. You know, I really like this, and it's reflective too. So if it's hanging up in camp, it's a black cordage. I don't know if it comes in other colors or not, but this one's black with highly reflective dots on it, which means as you're walking through camp in the middle of the night, this is going to reflect, and you're not going to run into your game or whatever you're doing here, clothesline or whatever. I mean, there's just so many options that this gives you versus regular paracord. So that's a $70 box right there. So we're going to move on to the advanced box. And for the advanced box, now listen, this is one of those examples where you go, oh, that's a great box, and then the next box you get, whoa, that's really nice. This is one of those items that you know, I don't think they've ever had anything like this in BattlBox. Well, not at least since we've been reviewing them. But this comes from SLNT, and I don't know what that stands for. We probably should have done a little bit more research. Doesn't say too much here. Nope, it doesn't say that. Okay, it just says SLNT, but this is a card for, let me see, for a discount on your next purchase of Faraday products. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into this. Okay, by using this SLNT Faraday cage, you can instantly block all wireless signal to and from your wireless devices or phone. Okay, that's important in this day and age because, you know, we all have apps on our phones, and whether you want to admit it or not, or like it or not, doesn't matter. Those things track you, and they do it in very sneaky, clandestine, malicious ways. But a bag like this, if you don't want to be tracked anywhere, you put that. And it doesn't mean that you're a nefarious person doing criminal activity because you don't want to be tracked. That just means you might be getting smart. But this is a 2.5 liter bag, and you can fit your phone in it. I don't have a phone with me around here, but you can fit more than one phone. I'd say you probably fit a half a dozen phones in there comfortably. But it will also protect all electronic devices because it is a Faraday cage. It'll protect all electronic devices from an EMP strike if it were to happen, which is pretty realistic. There's more of a chance of us being hit by an EMP strike than it is a nuclear strike. And that's directly from Homeland Security. But you can put your communication devices like ham radios or two-way radios, walkie-talkies or whatever, because if there's an EMP strike, it goes right at the heart of all electronic devices, especially the small microchips that all these use, diodes or whatever, and it just renders them useless. So this will help you out, but it's also a dry bag, right? And dry bags are essential for anyone that's going out in the bush, especially if you're going to be in a canoe or a kayak or a boat of any kind. You're going to be traversing water, you know, it doesn't matter. Dry bags are very necessary, or you're going to have some ruined gear. This particular one comes with a shoulder strap. I like this piece of gear. It's very unique, but it's usable. And they give this a value of $49.95. We'll call it $50. So that takes us to $120 so far for these two, and all you paid was $59.99. Now this next item here, I got really stoked when I found out that we were going to be getting one of these because we've already gotten one. Matter of fact, we've gotten a few of them to be a part of another article that we're doing on water purification and filtration, and we got several of them. But this guy right here in the Pro box is the GRAYL 16.9 ounce UltraPress, right? They also have a GeoPress, and those are the ones that we have that we've been reviewing and using and getting our socks blown off because I could tell you, though, that we've seen every filter that's under the sun, and that's no kidding. But man, this one here caused us all to take a pause and to look real close at this thing because we've had some great filters, like, you know, just for a comparison's sake. The MSR Guardian, that's a $400 filter, $400 purifier. It does a great job. It works really well. It takes out everything that might ever concern you, from bacteria to viruses to heavy metals, just everything that under the sun. It does a great job with it. But again, it's $400, and it's kind of cumbersome because you got to pack it. I don't have it here with me, But this GRAYL is a one and done system. The UltraPress is a 16.9 ounces, and really the components to this are pretty simple. You've got an outside sleeve here that you scoop up your dirty water with, right? And then this inner chamber has the unique filtering system right here that's changeable, and I think they're around 25 bucks to change these, but I don't know for sure. And then this inside chamber is where the filtered water goes. So this is dirty, and then you put your UltraPress together like so, right? And then you just kind of crack this lid or the cap so you can press it down like this. It takes about 10 seconds to process water, and all the dirty water now goes through the filter and comes inside the inner chamber where you will be drinking water from. And I gotta tell you, these things are awesome. They perform beyond what we expected. We've had dirty water in these that was just ugly, that you would have never sucked up through a life straw or some type of little device like that. Life straws are, you know, they got their place in the survival community, outdoor community, but be truthful, when you're around silty water, you may not get sick, but it won't take long that your eyes will be popping out of your head. You're sucking so hard on that straw because of the silt and all that. Now these are not, these don't like silt either, but you aren't going to shut them down with it unless you just use it irresponsibly. But this thing will take that silty, funky, stinky water and will turn it into crystal clear drinking water. They are amazing. And so BattlBox, don't know how you twisted GRAYL's arm to be involved, but I'm sure glad you did. And the subscribers who've never used these, you're going to be stoked when you do, because it's going to change your total outlook. One of the things that we've heard, well, you know, 16.9 ounces isn't very much. Well, you know, it just depends on what you're doing. If you're in a base camp, then, you know, what you can do is go to the bigger GRAYL. And I would say that at some point you're going to see a much bigger GRAYL that's designed for a base camp situation. At 16.9 ounces, what I would do with this is I would take a second bottle, like an Nalgene. Most of the time I take, you know, the stainless steel single-walled containers, 32 ounce size most of the time. But I would filter out that water and put it into that container, and then I would fill this up one more time. So that's going to give me 32 plus 16. You know, I'm going to have enough water that's going to last me for quite a while, at least until I hit the next water source. That's what I would do. You know, even though I've got the GRAYL, I would always take that extra water bottle with me. So this is a great buy. They give this a value of $89.95. We'll say that it's $90. You look on their website, that's exactly what these cost here. So that is very cost effective. Now that puts us at, we were at $120, that puts us at $210. And you were into this for $109.99. You've already doubled your money. All right, so now let's go on to the Pro Plus box. And the Pro Plus box, Knife of the Month, comes from Fox Knives. And this actually comes from Fox Knives out of Italy. I think it's Mangi, let me see, does it say here? Yeah, Maniago is how you say that, Maniago. And that community is known for their knives. Now, I like a knife that I can count on, one that is rugged but doesn't wear me out. And my main EDC folder is a CRKT knife. It was a Kit Carson model, and it's twice as heavy as this. You know, they were tasked with that. I really like that knife. I would consider taking this out into the bush with me as a replacement for that knife. That's how much I'm impressed by this. Okay, the steel on it, the bones of this knife, is a N690 CO stainless steel. It's about 3 inches long, super sharp, and the lock there's no movement in this knife at all, and the scales are very, very comfortable. They call it reinforced fiberglass. There is some aggressive jimping, but it's not so aggressive to where it hurts the hands or causes hot spots, and it's not going to wear you out. Now this is one of those knives that I would say would be good for small bushcrafting tasks. I don't know that I'd want to beat on it too much like I do my CRKT, you know, because it's a little bit diminutive compared to that. You know, I don't know that I'd want a baton with this unless I absolutely had to. But I could do, you know, tent stakes, trap triggers, small shelters, a bushcraft backpack frame. Those types of things I could do. I could process small game with this. I could use it as an eating utensil as well. You know, so it's a great knife. And the price on this guy is $99.99. So we're going to call it $100. But man, is that not beautiful? That nice stone wash. Can you see that there? Beautiful. I love this knife. Very, very impressive. So we were at $210, right? So we're going to add another $100 to that. That's $310 worth of gear, and you were in for $159.99. Not quite doubling your money, but very, very close. So I'm impressed with this month's box, and again, they're getting better all the time. You know, true to their word. Appreciate you watching. So until next time, you guys ride free, you live free, and be safe out there. Especially right now, it's 94 degrees out there with a heat index of 110. Man, was it hot this morning. All right, we'll see you.